everybody, I thought it would be helpful if I filmed an example of how to do a problem cause solution speech. To be completely honest, I didn't look up all these sources, so I'm just making them up, so don't go back and check them. But this is a real issue, and I know at least one source is accurate, so should I say that? I don't know. Okay, anyway, here we go. In high school, one of my best friends, Sarah, was a complete overachiever. Everything she did was to get into the best college. She took AP classes, IB classes, and she would honestly run herself ragged. She would stay up so incredibly late just to get the work done that she needed for the next day. And one day in particular, she was driving home from school, incredibly exhausted, and she hit a parked car. I've done research on this topic, and today I'm here to persuade you that school should start later. First, I'm going to talk about the problems, second, the causes, and third, the solutions. So first of all, let's look at the problems in this issue. There's really two main factors that are contributing to this problem. First, how it's harming students' health, and second, how it's hurting their education. So according to an LA Times article published on August 23rd, 2010, 80% of students are sleep deprived. And I think looking around this classroom, sometimes we see that in here as well. People are falling asleep at their desks. They're not really able to interact with the work that's being done because they're so exhausted. In fact, according to Harvard Medical School in an article published on November 3rd, 2012, having students get up at 7 a.m. in order to get to school at 8 a.m. is actually just not even biologically smart. And a lot of sleep researchers say that it's absolutely ridiculous that we're starting school before 8 a.m. Now, moving into how this affects students' education, according to a Harvard Business Wire article published on June 23rd, 2016, students are taking 5 hours to do just 3 hours worth of homework. So they're taking 2 hours longer than they need to be completing their work. This begs the question, are they actually learning what we're wanting them to learn? They're taking so much longer to do what we need them to do. They're probably not being productive, again, because they're so tired. Now that I've talked about the problems, next I'd like to talk about the causes. Nick, am I still in frame? So looking at let's address the causes. There's really two things that are causing this issue. First, parents and administration, and second, the teens themselves. So, according to a New York Times article published on September 3rd, 2018, administrators and parents really are kind of ignorant to how important it would be to set school back. And some attitudes that are kind of preventing schools from being set back are basically just apathy. I just don't care to know the positive outcome. And frankly, I don't want to shift schedules or structures, after school structures or bus schedules, in order to improve this issue. Next, teens themselves, well, they're not really taking this seriously either. According to psychologytoday.com, in an article published August 3rd, 2018, teens are just honestly kind of giving into this vicious cycle. They're not taking their own sleep seriously, but really it's not completely their fault. They are taking caffeine at about 3 or 4 p.m., which is causing them to stay up much later than they should be, but that's not the only issue at hand here. Their biology is actually a structure that's functioning to keep them awake till at least 11 p.m. and is causing them to not be able to rise between the hours of 5 to 7 a.m. because they're getting shot with a chemical in their brain, dopamine, that's encouraging them to stay awake. So now that I've talked about the problems and the causes, finally let's address the solutions. So there's two solutions here. First, on a societal level, and second, as individuals, what we can do. So first, as a society, we need to just set school start times back by 30 minutes. Just that 30-minute shift makes a huge, dramatic impact. So, according to an LA Times article published on October 21st, 2017, just 30 minutes makes drastic improvements in students' depression, in their success rate in school, and also in how productive they are in graduating. Now, this is a universal change. This has been found to be true in Israel, Rhode Island, and even different states within the United States. So regardless of socioeconomic status, regardless of culture, this shift works. Why aren't we doing it already? Let's make it illegal for schools to start before 8:30. Next, what individuals can do. Well, teens themselves can make sure that they're getting to bed at a decent time, maybe starting to go to bed around 9:30 and starting their bedtime ritual by not looking at their phone. They could take a nice hot bubble bath or even read without the blue light interfering the way that their brain is functioning at night. Another solution could be to not sign up for 8 a.m. classes or 7 a.m. classes. I know at Cal Poly they just made the shift to the semester schedule, so there are still 7 a.m. classes. There's also 8:30 classes. I would encourage you to boycott the 7 a.m. classes. Let's show them, hey, we're not going to do this. We're not able to learn at this time, so we're not signing up for these classes anymore. Registration is coming up right now, so I would ask you to not register for those 7 a.m. So today I persuaded you that school should start later. First, I unpacked the problems, second, the causes, and third, the solutions. Thinking back to my friend Sarah on that day, as she was driving home and she hit the parked car, luckily she didn't get hurt herself, only the car and her ego was a little bruised. But it really was an important lesson to all of us to take sleep more seriously. So today, right now, right here in class, I urge you to stand up and let's sign this petition to show Cal Poly that we no longer will stand for 7 a.m. classes. It's not healthy for our developing brains. We're not able to function just because of our biology and because of all the work that they're expecting us to do on this new semester schedule. So I encourage you to come up here right now and sign this petition. We can make a change in this class. Are you with me?